Hunting for Answers is a production of the Black Effect Podcast Network and iHeartRadio. Welcome to Hunting for Answers, a true crime podcast. I'm your host, Hunter. A woman disappears in Los Angeles. Years pass. There are no public answers, no arrest in her case, no body found. And then, detectives search a garage in South Los Angeles. Inside, they find something connected to the missing woman, a discovery that raises new questions about what may have happened after she vanished. But even now, the woman at the center of it all is still missing. This is the story of Rolenia Morris. Rolenia Adele Morris was born on February 4th, 1974. She may spell her first name as Rowenia, and she was known to some people as Roro. At the time of her disappearance, she was in her early 30s. The California Department of Justice lists her as 31 years old. Publicly, very little has been released about Rolenia's life, but in 2005, she vanished in Los Angeles, and more than 20 years later, she still has not been found. On September 10th, 2005, Rolenia was last seen in the 9,000 block of Southwestern Avenue in Los Angeles, California. She was described as 5 feet tall, around 100 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. She also had an RIP tattoo on her back. At the time she disappeared, she was reported to be wearing a jean jacket, a jean skirt, and black boots. After that, the public trail grows thin. Investigators have never publicly released many details about Rolenia's final hours, where she was going, who she may have been with, or what happened after she was last seen. As the years passed, there were still very few answers. By the time Rolenia went missing, other cases involving women in South Los Angeles had already left investigators searching for answers. Some women were found murdered. Others were never found at all. And over time, detectives started considering whether some of those cases might be connected. Eventually, that investigation led them to a man named Lonnie David Franklin Jr., a man who would later become known as the Grim Sleeper. For years, authorities believe Lonnie Franklin Jr. had operated in South Los Angeles. In 2010, after years of investigation, Franklin was arrested. The case quickly gained national attention, but as detectives searched Franklin's property, the investigation took another turn. Inside the home, investigators found a massive collection of photographs of women. Some women were identified. Others were not. And as detectives looked through the images, they were left trying to determine who these women were, which of them might still be missing, and how many cases had yet to be discovered. Then in 2011, the Los Angeles Police Department released an investigative update. Authorities publicly identified several missing women they believed might have connections to the Grim Sleeper case. One of those women was Rolenia Morris. According to investigators, detectives found her Nevada driver's license inside Franklin's garage. Media reporting also stated that photographs of Rolenia were recovered. A woman who had vanished years earlier was now somehow connected to that investigation. How did her identification end up inside that garage? And what happened to Rolenia after September 10th, 2005? Even with those discoveries, important questions remained. Investigators never publicly announced that Rolenia's body had been found, and Lonnie Franklin was never charged in connection with her disappearance. Rolenia's name had now become part of the investigation, but what happened to her was never fully explained. As the years passed, the Grim Sleeper case continued to grow. And even after Franklin's arrest, questions about other cases still remained. In 2016, Franklin was convicted of 10 murders and sentenced to death. Years later, in 2020, he died while on death row. And with his death, he left behind questions that may never be answered. For Rolenia Morris, very little has changed. More than 20 years after her disappearance, she remains missing. Her case remains open. And despite years of investigation, no one has publicly explained what happened after September 10th, 2005. The question at the center of this case is the same one that has existed from the beginning. What happened to Rolenia Morris? If you have any information related to her disappearance, you are encouraged to contact the Los Angeles Police Department Missing Persons Unit, or to remain anonymous, call Crime Stoppers. Contact details are in the show notes. As we close this episode, Rolenia Morris has never been found. Her loved ones still deserve answers. For more cases and updates, follow Hunting for Answers. You can also connect with us through our Facebook group and find us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. If there's a story you believe deserves attention, we'd love to hear from you. Thank you for joining us for another episode. Until next time. Hunting for Answers is a production of the Black Effect Podcast Network. For more podcasts from the Black Effect Podcast Network, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.